Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, and thank you for stopping by. Alright guys, the saga continues, and the narrative and the plot and the tone twist of the Democratic Party, specifically the Biden agenda and the left-wing media allies, is in full swing, and we are tracking it because we have some major developments. Now, just to catch you up, did you guys know that the cause of the gun violence in America, according to ABC, is gang violence and mental illness? I know. I've got the articles. We're going to dive into that in 1 second. But just to catch you up on what's happened in the past week and a half, okay? We told you on this channel, you and I talk every night, and we talked about some Politico articles that were really giving cover to Biden, specifically around the ATF nominee, how he was in trouble. Biden wanted great things to happen. He wants to solve the issues, but those pesky Republicans and the nominee is not a great one, so it's not Biden's fault. Effectively giving Biden cover and throwing everything else to the wind, okay? And we noticed that change on this channel. But then something happened Wednesday of last week. A complete shift in the narrative and the tone. Biden went from president on the podium to campaigner-in-chief in an instant in a CNN town hall. Now that was on Wednesday the 21st. And we noted that change and we talked about it in our videos. You can go back and watch all of these videos within the last 7 days. They're actually pretty on point now that we look back in retrospect. But there's been a new development. So that happened on Wednesday, and we said, and we kind of surmised that it's got to be because poll numbers are terrible, and sure enough, on Sunday, the poll numbers were terrible. 67% disapprove of Biden's handling on gun policy, especially specifically gun violence. And we said in that video that there was going to be even more articles coming out that were going to be coming from the left-wing mainstream media giving the cover and also changing that narrative with the Biden administration to appeal to a neutral audience, right in the middle, because that's what they lost, according to that polling, and they're trying to get them back. Here it is, right on cue. This came out on the 26th and 28th. Everything is in the description box below, and this is everything, guys, because this shows the exact narrative shift we've been talking about. Share this video out and know that you are making them do this. This is a victory in of itself, and we got to keep pressing, but let's dive in. Everything is linked in the description box below, so you can check them, you can check me, and you can share these videos and these articles out. And also, let me know what you guys think in the comments field, because this is impressive, all right? So let's dive in. So this is some stuff that you'd expect to hear from this channel, but no, from ABC. Here we go. I got 2 articles to share for you. Gun violence in America, defining the problem. Which is weird, because I thought it was already defined. I thought guns were the problem, but apparently they're not. Interesting. Here's where it starts sounding like LOA. Between 2014 and 2019, an average of 38,826 Americans were killed by guns annually, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Of those 23,437, or 60%, were suicides. You've never heard them say that before, ever. They're noting that its suicides are a large chunk of that cause. Why would they do that? We're going to tie it together in a second. This is the New York Police Commissioner currently. This is the top cop in New York. You can't shoot somebody without a gun, said New York Police Commissioner Dermot Shea. Identifying who's carrying guns, the cops going out there and making the arrests, taking the guns off the street is great. Really, what we need is the individual carrying the gun off the street. Did you catch that? He didn't say we need all the guns off the street because it's the darn gun traffickers. No, he said the person with the gun. This stacks on that Democratic narrative shift Civil War thing we talked about last night, how they're going back to focusing on the criminals, not the guns. There's a shift happening. This is important. I want to hear from you, okay? In Shea's New York City, again, police commissioner, there was a 100% increase in shootings in 2020 from the year prior. Accidental shootings, domestic violence, suicide, stray bullets, and mass casualty all contributed to it, but Shea said the biggest drivers of gun violence are gangs. Gangs. So now they've said 60% are suicides and the other biggest drivers are gangs. Have you heard that at all in the last 6 months in any mainstream article? No, you haven't, because they've been making about the guns, but now that there's this narrative shift right on cue, here comes ABC, and you're going to see it more, but I digress. Let's keep going. Here's the second article that came out on the 28th. This is 7 days after Biden's town hall, while the first was 5 days. Okay? Gun violence in America. Mental health. Mental health? Okay. Here we go. Someone who goes out and massacres a bunch of strangers, that's not the act of a healthy mind. There's something wrong with that person. Dr. Jeffrey Swanson, professor in psychiatry and behavioral sciences at Duke University School of Medicine, told ABC News. Wait a minute. So you're saying that this is actually mental illness as well? Now don't get me wrong, ABC is still far left, but listen to the narrative that they're spinning. It's suicide, it's gang violence, it's mental illness. Notice how they're shifting away from its guns? It's because they're poll numbers. All right, and here's the last one. Although most of the attention given to guns and mental health focuses on mass shootings, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention said on average, 60% of all gun deaths in the United States are suicides. That's the second reference to that 60% that they made in 2 articles over 2 days. This is a shift. They are preparing and they are trying to shift the narrative so that they look better to their base in 2022. I'm telling you, this is what this is. If you put everything that we've covered in the last 2 weeks together, you see a very clear path that they are going back into the middle of the Democratic mainstream narrative because they went too far left and they got pinched. You've got a civil war occurring in the Democratic Party about who's going too far and who's not. You've got the left coast going way too far left, and then you've got the big cities like Chicago and New York saying, well, it's a city and culture of lawlessness. This is insane. There's a shift and a war happening in the Democratic Party, and it's only going to get bigger and louder. And we are going to follow this day in and day out like bloodhounds, because you and I, we are on the cutting edge of the Second Amendment, and this right here is how we know we're making an impact. Don't you guys give up. Every single thing that you do makes a difference. And until I see you tomorrow, let me know what you think on this video. Until then, I'm Braden. See you later.